Okay, for the introduction, statistic represent producer of collecting, organizing, analyzing, interpreting, and presenting data into a useful information. Statistic has two major types, such as descriptive statistic and inferential statistic. In this assignment, statistical analysis software such as SPSS helps to calculate large amount of data using a large samples and including more variables. A variable is a characteristic or condition that can change or taken on different values. There are two types of variable, which are qualitative and quantitative. Qualitative consists of names or label, while quantitative consists of numbers representing counts or other measurements. In this assignment, we use both variable and for qualitative and quantitative.
Categorical data comprises information categories into a group characterized by features such as categories, qualitative nature, analytical and graphical analysis, interval score, numeric value, and inherent attribute. Our group transformed recorded information on place, price, and weight into nominal data for observation, resulting in categorical data. Two types of categorical data are nominal data and ordinal data. Sample size denoted as N signify the number of participants or observation in a study. This parameter influence to statistic parameters the precision of estimate and the study power to draw conclusion. Using IBM SPSS statistic of the 6 students based on their matriculation number, we choose the lower two-digit number 19, which is Nurin Ardina Najiha binti Zairul Irwadis. Student number matric number A22A0919 as the lower number to be, at which 19 random observation from the data file. For record categorical data, the final total for record place is 261. For the final total record price is 1,462. For record weight is 1,242, and for record width one is 1,153.
Hi, my name is Nuruddina binti Saiful Nizam. I will continue with the numerical descriptive measures. Firstly, for price, mean is 136.25, median is 76.47, mode is 1.70, first quarter is 29.09, second quarter is 76.47, third quarter is 211.50, range is 739.96, variant is 90,668.30, and lastly, standard deviation is 140.24. Next, for width, mean is 140.91, median is 120, mode is 110, first quarter is 24.78, second quarter is 120, third quarter is 186, range is 770, variance is 20,175.06. Lastly, standard deviation is 142.04. Lastly, for the width, mean is 3.0748, median is 3.4016, mode is 1.1484, first quarter is 2.2796, second quarter is 3.4016, third quarter is 3.8846, range is 4.3284, variance is 1.1755. Lastly, standard deviation is 1.0842.
Hi, I'm Nurul Shahida Beti Azhar. I'm presenting 4.0, which is graphical presentation. Graphical presentation is the way of the analysis numerical data is exhibiting the relationship between data, ideas, information, and concept in a diagram. This is easy to understand and is the one of the most important learning strategy. For this assignment, we are going to represent the different type of data set graphical. Number one is graph bar chart refer to the place. First graph is bar chart for the frequency price. We use this graph to analyze the data price either increasing or decreasing. It can be seen that there are 7 types of different places, which are Canada, Singapore, Turkey, USA, Ireland, Malaysia, Vietnam, and Britain. Next is need to find the relative frequency to construct a bar chart. Okay, look at graph part C. Y refer to frequency and part C X refer to price. Canada, we got 13 frequency. Singapore, we got 14 frequency. Turkey, we got 8 frequency. USA, we got 12 frequency. Ireland, we got 7 frequency. And Malaysia, we got 2 frequency. Vietnam, we got 3 frequency. And Britain, we got 1 frequency. Next graph is histogram for the frequency price. We use the graph to analyze the data price either increases or decrease. Okay, look at the graph. Part C1 refer to frequency and part C X refer to price. 0 to 100, we got 33 frequency. 101 to 200, we got 10 frequency. 201 to 300, we got 10 frequency. 301 to 400, we got 4 frequency. And 401 to 500, we got 2 frequency. 501 to 600, we got 0 frequency. And 601 to 700, we got 0 frequency. And 701 to 800, we got 1 frequency. The graph show the effect of the price drop. Next graph, we use frequency polygon for weight. Look at this graph. Part C1 we refer to frequency and part CX refer to weight. Midpoint 50, we got 25. Midpoint 150.5, we got 24. And 250.5, we got 6. And 350.5, we got 1. And 450.5, we got 2. And 550.5, we got 1. And 650.5, we got 0. 750.5, we got 1. Next graph is frequency polygon for the weight. We use the graph to analyze the data weight either decrease or increase. Okay, look at this graph. Part C1 refer to the frequency and part CX refer to weight. 0.0 to 0.9, we got 0 frequency. And 1.0 to 1.9, we got 13 frequency. 2.0 to 2.9, we got 8 frequency. 3.0 to 3.9, we got 25 frequency. 4.0 and 4.9, we got 13 frequency. And 5.0 to 5.9, we got 1 frequency. This graph shows the frequency of decreasing and increasing with.
For question 5.1, we use SPSS to calculate measure of central tendency, measure of position, and measure of variation. And as we can see, almost all calculations are the same, using between SPSS and manual calculation. And the same goes to measure of position. Almost all calculations are the same, but the only difference is decimal point. And once again, all calculations for measure of variation are the same, by using SPSS. For graphical representation, we use bar chart to represent the frequency of place, and we use histogram to represent the frequency of price. And we use polygon graph to represent the frequency of weight and width. And we use ANOVA for hypothesis testing. Step 1, H0 is equal to mu1, equal to mu2, and equal to mu3. Step 2, significance levels is 0.05. Step 3, test statistic, we use SPSS to get the F. Step 4, critical decision, we get 2.191. For step 5, the decision is we reject H null since F is greater, which is 64.446. Therefore, there is a significant difference among the treatment.
Correlation analysis. Correlation analysis is a statistical technique used to determine how two variables are related. In statistics, the word correlation refers to the relationship between two variables which exist when charge in one variable are accompanied by consistent and predictable change in the other variables. Based on the Pearson correlation analysis obtained by using SPSS software, we measure the relationship and strength between several variables. During this investigation, we examine the correlations between price, weight, and width. Both weight and width have strong positive correlation with price. The Pearson correlation coefficient are 0.987 and 0.776. This means that as weight or width increase, the price also tends to increase. The p-value for both correlation are 0.000, which is less than 0.05. So the observed correlation are statistically significant and unlikely to be due to chance. Confidence interval. A confidence interval is a range of value within which the population parameter is expected to occur. In this study, we use two confidence intervals that are always widely used, which are 95% and 99%. First, 95% confidence interval for price. The lower boundaries and the upper boundaries are 100.0247 and 172.4846. It also represents the standard error for this depend, which is 18.10597. So it can be said that 95% confidence that the population parameter is between 100.0247 and 172.4846. 99% confidence interval of price. The lower boundaries and the upper boundaries are 88.0609 and 184.4484. It also represents the standard error for this depend, which is 18.10597. So it can be said that 99% confident that the population parameter is between 88.0609 and 184.4484. 95% confident interval of weight. The lower boundaries and the upper boundaries are 104.225 and 177.608. It also represents the standard error for this depend, which is 18.3365. So it can be said that 95% confident that the population parameter is between 104.225 and 177.608. 99% confident interval of weight. The lower boundaries and the upper boundaries are 92.109 and 189.724. It also represents the standard error for this depend, which is 18.3365. So it can be said that 99% confident that the population parameter is between 92.109 and 189.724. Last for confident interval is 95% confident interval of width. The lower boundaries and the upper boundaries are 2.774829 and 3.360201. It also represents the standard error for this depend, which is 0.1462701. So it can be said that 95% confident that the population parameter is between 2.774829 and 3.360201. 99% confidence interval of width. The lower boundaries and the upper boundaries are 2.678179 and 3.456851. It also represents the standard error for this depend, which is 0.1462701. So it can be said that 99% confident that the population parameter is between 2.678179 and 3.456851. The last part is prediction modeling. Prediction modeling is a important statistical method known as multiple linear regression, makes use of the combined effect of several independent variables to reveal their linear correlation with a single dependent variable, enabling prediction and comprehension in intricate data-driven scenario. For correlation, the R value between price and weight is 0.987, weight and width is 0.000, price and width is 1.000. Thus, price is associated with both weight and width. And the R-square value for model summary is 0.974, which means 98.7% of the variation of price can be explained by weight and width. The adjusted R-square is 97.3%. This can be concluded that the relationship between the model and the dependent variable were connected to each other. The p-value from the ANOVA table is 0.000, which means that at least one of two variables, weight and width, can be used to price. Last is coefficient. Based on the coefficients table, refer to columns unstandardized b-value. The multiple linear regression equation is y equal to b0 plus b1x1 plus b2x2. Y is the predicted value of the dependent variable, which is price. b0, b1, and b2 are parameters. x0, x1, and x2 are known as constant variable. So, the equation is y equal to 1.002 plus 0.981 minus 0.961. From the multiple linear regression equation, x1 can be weight and x2 can be the width. Thus, for every unit increase in weight, the price of fish will decrease 0.961 while the weight of fish remains unchanged. That's all from me. Thank you.
Okay, for the conclusion, business statistics is the science of making decisions based on the analysis in production, auditing, financial analysis, and econometric. Business statistics apply all of the data analysis tools and techniques from elementary statistics to the business in order to manage problems and make decisions. Statistics is a branch of mathematics which is a process of collecting, analyzing, summarizing, interpreting, and presenting empirical data. Moreover, statistics is needed to be convert the large quantities of data in every single field into useful information for the users. To sum up, we can do all the statistical conclusion required for this report using the data we collected during our lecture. We employed a 6-sample data set from 60 observations. We employ both qualitative and quantitative variable in this assignment. Place is qualitative, price, weight, and width are all quantitative. Besides, we use all 4 types of data measurement, including a place as a nominal scale, price as a ratio scale, weight as an ordinal scale, and width as an interval scale. Besides, in this assignment, researchers use IBM SPSS statistics for sampling data.